Right, I know we shouldn't be spending much time focusing on people who are just going to spout lies and nonsense the whole time. But given Candace Owens' unique platform, and she has quite a big audience, do feel it's important to dispel some misconceptions if they keep being said. And one misconception that I think needs to be addressed is this use of the term Semite and anti-Semite. Because, well, I'll just show you the clip. Have a watch.
I found out that I'm in a competition. I'm up for Anti-Semite of the Year. By the way, just saying, like, I kind of feel like the biggest anti-Semite, like, I feel like maybe the Prime Minister Netanyahu should have made the list because he's killed more Semites this year than anybody. Did we forget Palestinians are Semites?
Okay, let's just deal with this particular thing and then we can talk a bit more broadly about Candace's words she says, which are certainly have to be classed as anti-Semitic. The word anti-Semitic is simply a way of describing hatred of Jews. That's what it's come to mean. Okay? So saying, oh, but how can that be anti-Semitic when Arabs living in Gaza are Semites? It's just a term to describe anti-Jewish hatred. I'm surprised that needs explaining. Yes, Jews and Arabs are both Semitic, but the term was created to describe a form of prejudice against the Jews, and that's what it's meant in conversation. And it's just so stupid. And I don't even know what point you're trying to bring out here by saying, oh, but how could they be anti-Semitic? Why are you getting into technical details? That's obviously not what people mean when they say anti-Semitism. They don't mean hatred of all people that are of a Semitic background and descent. The term anti-Semitism was coined by a German journalist, Wilhelm Marr, in 1879 to designate anti-Jewish campaigns, and was spread through use by anti-Jewish political movements and the general public. That's how the word first came into being, and it was meant to talk about hatred of Jews. And the reason they were using the word Semite is because there was a lot of obsession with race and racial background back then. The fact that Jews are, by the way, Semites and share a Semitic ancestry and racial characteristics with Arabs, by the way, should indicate to those who are against Israel that Jews really do come from that part of the world. They try to make it out as if Jews are white European colonialists on a land that is not theirs. No, actually, the fact that we are Semites, either having lived a lot in the Arab world or in Europe or other parts of the world, having been displaced 2,000 years ago, just indicates just how much we do belong in that land. And ironically, the term Palestine was created by a white European colonialist, the Roman Emperor Hadrian, 2,000 years ago, who renamed the land in order to sever the Jewish connection. The word Palestine, of course, referencing the ancient enemy of the Jews who were then extinct, the Philistines. More generally, to describe what Israel is doing as being evil and wrong, when Israel has shown more surgical precision at the cost of Israeli soldiers' lives, which I lament and I question, by the way, in order to be as surgically precise in Gaza as possible, where it looks like, according to Hamas figures and from IDF data, about 1 in 2 people that have been killed in this war have been Hamas combatants, as opposed to non-combatants. You know the ratio when Western armies in America fought against ISIS, let's say the Battle of Mosul. The Battle of Mosul in Iraq, when we were trying to get rid of ISIS, the ratio is about between 1 to 9 to 1 to 13. And you're saying that that's evil, what Israel's doing in order to get rid of a genocidal enemy on their doorstep? Which, by the way, I know Candace condemns. Candace does condemn Hamas. So what more do you want of Israel? The only thing I would say is they should move faster so the war can be over faster, but that could potentially mean more casualties in the short term. But this is a messy thing that has to happen. Not to mention, of course, the fact that there's another greater issue that people aren't talking about enough, that there's majority support for Hamas. And when I hear people saying, by the way, well, Israel is creating Hamas, Israel is fueling Hamas, that's like saying the Jews fueled Hitler. I'm sorry, but it is. They are genocidal, anti-Semitic foes who would have the same views even if there was no Israel in terms of wanting to kill the Jews. They say this in their charter, and the facts bear this out. In fact, this is the story of the Palestinian cause. At every turn, they've had a chance to make peace with Israel, to live side by side, before any displacement occurred, by the way. And they always chose war. Everything they lament, whether it's war, occupation, genocide, security checkpoints, blockades, even though it's not, it's actually just censoring for weapons. Whatever it is they lament, these things are self-inflicted. If you want a full breakdown of, I'm sad to say, many of the things that Candace says, which are, the words are anti-Semitic. Watch the video where we showed Dennis Prager who was a former employer of Candace Owens, going through her words and breaking down the things that she said in detail and showing their anti-Semitism. I'll post the link to that video in the video description. Many people will say, why are you talking about this, Ollie? Why are you talking, raising awareness of Candace's videos? But the truth is, I don't do it that often, pretty rarely, but a lot of people see her content. Therefore, we can't ignore the fact that she is saying these things and lies need to be corrected. So that's my view, at least. If you appreciate the work we're doing at JTV to spread the truth about Israel and create positive associations with Jews and Judaism around the world, I have a request for you. In just a few days, we're going to be doing a JTV crowdfunding campaign. The purpose of it is to scale JTV's growth. I'm sure you appreciate the impact we're having online, but we can do so much more. And we plan to use these funds to start getting more presenters doing shows like me, start doing documentary content, animated content, and really allow us to start competing with the anti-Israel online media equivalents and grow at a faster rate. If you'd be up for helping us, partnering with us in that mission, click on the Google form in the video description of this video. It takes you literally just a few seconds to sign up, and then I'll be in touch with you very, very soon, where I'll basically help you to create a unique link, a custom link for our big crowdfunder that you can send out to your network on the day of the crowdfunder, which is going to be just a few days from now, December the 15th to the 18th. And you basically send that to your network and say, hey, would you consider supporting JTV's work? Here's why I really appreciate it. And it basically allows us to have strength in numbers in harnessing all of our networks for those who appreciate the work we're doing. So it's a small commitment, but it could have a massive impact. So if you'd be up for helping us in that mission, please click on the Google form in the video description of this video, and I'll get in touch with you very, very shortly. Thank you so, so much for being involved.